Oh, well, hello there, you beautiful human, and welcome to your yoga practice. I am Andrea Dawn, and today we're going to make our way through a short sequence that is helpful for your neck. So, being that I have a lot of hair and it's very heavy, I have to take really good care of my neck. It gets kinked up very easily. And so, we'll get started in a comfortable seat today. You don't need any props, just you and your beautiful smile. Ears over shoulders, over hips. Let's find a traditional mudra, Anjali Mudra. Hands to heart center, the prayer position. Find a soft smile. Maybe close the eyes, maybe just take a downward gaze. Inhale through the nose, open the mouth. You're here. You are now. And we'll get started with an Om. So you're welcome to join me or simply receive in that Om. Remember, Om is the universal vibration sound of universal consciousness. And so we can use this to attune ourselves to that. If you're choosing to Om with me, inhale. If you lost that soft smile, bring it back. And you might take in a moment to set an intention for the practice. Your intention is your magnet. You can use it throughout your practice, throughout your day. Every time you notice your mind wander, you notice the dialogue, go to a place that's not helpful or healthy or kind, you come back to this intention. And we'll start today in a fetal position with the left arm on the left side body and the left arm extended. And then reach the right arm overhead. You'll take the right hand to the left ear and gently draw the head upwards. And then we'll just allow the head to relax back down and gently draw the head upwards. And we'll do that for a few rounds, beginning to link breath and movement. And after a few rounds, then you'll keep the head lifted and find opposition as you push the head back into the hand. And then allow the head to release, reach the right arm overhead and turn this into a spinal twist where the arms come out to a T or cactus arms, and then you can take the gaze and shift it over your right shoulder. And now maybe tracing the energy from the back of the head all the way down the spine. You can trace that energy with your breath. Sometimes I like to add a light. So visualizing a light in the area of my body that I'm focusing on, adding the breath. And then we'll come back to center and just repeat that on the other side. So you'll find your fetal position right side. Extend the right arm out. Reach the left arm overhead. Take the left hand to the right ear. Gently lift the head. Find a little opposition and release. A few times like this with the breath. You're bound to hear all kinds of noises as I live in Guatemala and it is impossible to find a day where there is silence. So between roosters and we're having lots of work done on the property. And then hold. And release, reach the left arm around, take the gaze over the left shoulder. And then we'll come back to center. Take a big stretch, arms overhead, legs beneath in breath. Out breath to bring yourself all the way up to sit. And when you come up to sit, come to a wide leg seated position. So wide enough that you feel feeling, but not too much. So always that question of how much is enough. You can tilt the hips forward. Reach the arms overhead, clasp the hands. Take the clasped hands and bring them to the back of the head and then gently press down as you draw your elbows in. And again, we'll lift the held head back up into the hands. So finding that gentle opposition, and then just start to shift the head from side to side like you're saying no. And you might find a sticky spot where you want to hold and breathe. I always think of my practice like that. I'm kind of searching through the dark, this mysterious place of the universe of my body with a flashlight, seeing what I can see and find and explore. And sometimes I have to spend a little bit more time in those cavernous areas that maybe have grown mold or have some sharp things that I need to shave off or sand out. And then bring the head back to neutral. Now we'll counter this stretch by placing the hands behind us and just step the feet wide and knock the knees into the midline. Good, then let's come to a cross-leg position. So left heel will draw in, right heel in front. And we're gonna switch this, so we'll do both sides. Sitting up nice and tall, we're gonna give ourselves a little neck massage. So taking your fingers and just massaging out your neck. You can use different parts. Maybe you curl your forefinger and use the knuckle to get a little bit deeper. Now let's switch the cross of our legs. So this time the right heel will tuck in, the left heel will come in front. And we're going to continue with our neck massage, but we'll take it up higher this time. So we're going to take your fingers past where you normally would go, up higher into the head. And apply pressure, maybe some small circles. Notice where you might be holding excess. You know, if you're scrunching your brow or clenching your jaw. All right, then we'll bring the head back to neutral. Circle out your wrists. Interlace your hands, give your wrists a figure eight. And then in the opposite direction. And then we'll come to sit onto our heels. So if sitting on your heels is too much for you, you can sit anyway, or you can place a prop in between your knees and your calves. And then we'll sit back onto the heels. And from here, we're gonna reach the left arm out to the left and the right arm overhead. So the right hand will take hold of the left ear, and we're gonna kind of do the same thing we did in fetal position, but a little bit different. So I'm drawing the right ear to the right shoulder, finding a little opposition. But now I'm gonna use this left arm to move around in space and see if that changes the feeling I have in my neck. And if there's anywhere that I wanna keep that arm, the whole practice is an exploration, and my cues are just for you to sift through, right? They're not a telling, they're not a knowing. I only know what I know in my body. So it's your job to figure out what you know in your body, but it can be helpful to be directed. All right, then let's bring the head back to neutral, and we'll do that on the other side. So this time the right arm is gonna reach, the left arm goes overhead. You'll take hold of the right ear, draw the left ear to the left shoulder. Now you're finding opposition once again, and then moving this right arm around in space. You can swivel at the shoulder joint. You can clench the hand into a fist. It's interesting to note all of the connections in our body. Sometimes spaces we don't think are connected are. And then we'll let that go. Amazing. Now we're going to come up to stand onto the knees. And again, if this is too much, you can double fold your mat or place a prop underneath your knees. Now we'll take the hands, interlace them behind you, and take the held hands over to the right side body. Notice if you stuck your hips out. Let's see if we can keep the shoulders over the hips. So now I have a little bit more stretch in my left shoulder, left neck. So I'm going to increase that by bringing my right ear to my right shoulder. And then just kind of move the head with the ear towards the shoulder, but like I'm almost saying yes. And again, searching around for any sticky spaces that you'd like to hold. Good, then bring the head back to neutral and we'll switch sides. So held hands go over to left side body. Notice if you stuck your hips out in either direction, shoulders over hips. Good, now we've got a little more stretch in the right side body, so left ear goes to left shoulder. And here's where we'll search around. You can notice things like the way that you sleep. You know, I've noticed just a little bit in recent times, I tend to cock my head to the right side. And maybe because that's my bun usually goes a little bit more to the right side. So noticing these imbalances in the way we carry ourselves throughout the day can help us look at what we need to work on in our yoga practice so that we can create balance. All right, then head back to neutral. Now let's just swing the arms from side to side. We'll fall down onto one side, step the feet out in front of you. Place the hands behind you, and then just let the head fall back. And we'll just do half circles here. So when you think about the way that your head and neck is throughout the day, especially with all of our devices and computer work, it tends to be more in this position. So we want to make sure that we counter that and allow the head to be back, chin up towards the sky. So you might stay here just working these half circles, or if you wanted to add a little bit more, you could lift into an upward facing table and let the head fall here. Same thing, you might continue to move the head. Lower back down. Extend the legs out long. We'll just do one big circle in one direction, one big circle in the other direction. And then lower all the way down onto your back. That is our practice for our neck. Moving into our Shavasana and our corpse pose, so taking a moment to integrate, to absorb, to embody all of that we just worked through. Shavasana is a beautiful time to release and to shed any parts of you that aren't consciously chosen. I encourage you to stay here for as long as you have time. Again, using your breath and maybe the visualization of light in your body to gift yourself your own attention, your own healing. It is always a blessing, honor, and privilege. My heart sees, feels, and smiles to yours. Namaste, yogis.